Remember the last thing you really wanted. The phone, the raise, the trip, the thing you were sure would finally do it. You got it. And for a little while it worked. And then quietly the feeling faded and your eyes drifted to the next thing. That's not a personal failing. That's a machine running inside you, and it has been running your whole life. You get what you wanted. The wanting moves. You chase, you arrive, the finish line steps back. The Stoics understood this machine 2,000 years before we had a word for it, and they found the one thing that actually switches it off. It's not more, it's the exact opposite. This is the unbothered Stoic. One ancient idea made usable every week. Today, the Stoic cure for always wanting more, and why the secret to feeling wealthy is the exact opposite of what the whole world is selling you. Epictetus, who owned almost nothing his entire life, said it flatly. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Read that again, because the whole modern world is built to make you disbelieve it. Wealth is not having more, it's wanting less. Now, I want to be fair, because this is easy to misread. The Stoics were not against having things. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome. This isn't about taking a vow of poverty. It's about who's in charge, you or the wanting. Let me show you exactly what they saw. Here's the mechanism. Every desire comes with a hidden clause. I will be content when I get this. And the moment you get it, your mind quietly deletes that clause and writes a new one, attached to something else. So contentment is always one purchase away, one achievement away, one step ahead of wherever you're standing. You can run at that horizon your entire life and never once arrive, because it was never a real place. It was a moving line your own mind keeps redrawing. Here's the core idea I want you to carry out of this video. You will never get enough of what you don't actually need. Sit with that. If a thing isn't truly what's missing, no amount of it will ever satisfy you. That's why people get the raise and feel empty a month later, get the bigger house and fill it with the same restlessness. The problem was never the size of what they had. It was the engine of wanting itself, and you cannot fix a wanting problem with more stuff. You can only fix it by turning the engine down. If that reframe hits home, take a second to hit like it helps this reach someone stuck sprinting on that treadmill right now. Then let's get practical, because the Stoics didn't just diagnose the itch. They trained themselves out of it. 3 exercises, all Stoic, all usable this week. The first is imagining the loss of what you already have. The Stoics practiced picturing life without the things they were taking for granted. Your health, the people you love, a roof, warmth, a working body. Seneca advised holding in your mind the loss of these, not to torture yourself, but to break the spell of the ordinary. Because the fastest way to want less is to notice how much you already have and stopped seeing. Most people are surrounded by things they once desperately wanted and now completely ignore. Look at them again. And the hunger for more suddenly loosens its grip. The second exercise is the pause between wanting and buying. When you feel the pull towards something, don't act on it, just watch it. Notice the desire rise, insist it's urgent, promise it'll complete you, and then wait, days if you can. The Stoics knew most desires are like weather. They feel permanent and pass quickly. Half the time, the thing you were sure you needed simply stops calling. What you're training is the gap between the impulse and the action, and in that gap, you discover how few of your wants are actually yours and how many were installed by an ad, a comparison, a bad afternoon. The third exercise is deliberately enjoying less. Occasionally, on purpose, choose the simpler thing, the plain meal, the cheaper option. A day with less. Seneca, the wealthy man, did this regularly. He'd live for a few days on the barest food and roughest clothes, then ask himself, is this the condition that I feared? And the answer was always no. It was fine. It was even peaceful. When you prove to yourself that you can be content with little, the fear that drives so much wanting, the fear of not having enough, quietly dissolves. You stop clutching because you felt with your own hands that you'd be okay. Now let me be honest with you, because this gets twisted. Wanting less is not the same as wanting nothing. It's not about killing ambition or refusing to improve your life. The Stoics worked hard and built things. The difference is where their peace lived. They pursued goals with full effort, but they didn't hang their contentment on the outcome. They wanted things without needing them. That's the whole trick. You can chase the raise. Just don't tell yourself you'll finally be at peace when it lands, because that peace was always available and it was never for sale. And this won't happen overnight, because the wanting engine has been revving since you were a child, fed by a culture that profits from your restlessness. You're not going to silence it in a week. But every time you notice a want and don't obey it, every time you look again at what you already have, you turn the engine down one notch. and a quieter engine is a quieter life. Here's the promise the Stoics kept finding. The person who wants less is freer than the person who has more, because every want is a small master. It tells you to chase, to compare, to be dissatisfied with a life that, seen clearly, is already full. Reduce the wants and you take back the hours and the peace they were spending. Epictetus, the former slave, ended up freer than the emperors, and he owned almost nothing. That wasn't in spite of having little. It was because he had trained himself to need little. So the next time you feel that familiar itch for the next thing, pause and ask the Stoic question, is this what's actually missing? Or am I about to feed an engine that only gets hungrier the more I give it? Then look around at what you already have and really see it the way you did when it was still the thing you wanted. I'm genuinely curious and I read the comments. What's something you already own that you once wanted badly and now forget to appreciate? Name it below. It's a good reminder for all of us. The next video takes this hunger for more and points it at the one resource you can never buy back, time. Seneca wrote a letter about it that has survived 2,000 years because almost everyone is making the same mistake with their life right now. Subscribe and stay. We're building this calm, one idea at a time.